Hello everyone. My name is Dipankar and I'm the CEO of Deep Longevity. I welcome you and thank you for joining us today for the launch of SenoClock Gold SaaS platform. SenoClock Gold is our attempt to democratize longevity and make our unique technology available to all organizations in the world in an affordable manner. I have with me today Feder, who leads our research and is behind the science we are developing, and Gauranga, who heads our technology, and his team has built SenoClock. And I also have Shamik, who leads marketing for us. Feel free to send any questions in the chat Q&A, and Feder and Gauranga will keep answering as I go through my presentation. SenoClock Gold is an enhancement to our existing SenoClock platform, home to all our aging clocks that will allow employers and enterprises to onboard employees and customers on the platform. Users can now track their aging summaries, health parameters, receive their reports with personalized recommendations, be notified and nudged, all in one place. SenoClock Gold is an important step in our growth, and I'm thrilled to see so many potential customers and partners in this webinar. Hope everybody is able to see my screen. So I'm going to log in now as an employee, Byron. Now for this demo, I created this profile beforehand, and of course we have sample data. But in the real world, the user or employee will get an email with a link to the application. They would click on that link and then enter the password, create a password, and after that they will enter the application. At first, of course, they won't see any data, but assuming that they go through some of these surveys and reports, this is how the data will look like. So let's understand what is that we are looking at. So there is a dashboard of organ health scores. Today we have 4 organ health scores around kidney, lipid, liver, and glucose, and we are looking to add many more. Having submitted a blood test report, the user, in this case is a 24-year-old male, can now see the biological age. It's coming to be 34. So now this user knows that it's not keeping very healthy habits. There's also a snapshot of the well-being scores, which reflects the overall mental well-being. This is reflected across 6 well-being parameters: personal growth, autonomy, self-acceptance, environmental mastery, purpose in life, and positive relations with others. Now I will show the summary reports, but I won't go into a lot of details with these. We have done this before in previous launches. So you'll have the videos on our website. It's also there on the YouTube channel. So do browse at your leisure and you can find more details there. And if you still have questions afterwards, then do reach out to us and we'll be very happy to connect and go into all of these details. So let me upload a sample blood test report and see what happens. As many of you are aware, we are able to handle data in different formats. This could be the standard PDF reports, which most diagnostic labs give. But this data can also be in flat files or CSV if the employers have dedicated relationship with the labs and the labs are giving them the data in the CSV format, then we can use them as well. So here Byron has got a blood test and he's uploading that. So let's see what happens. With PDFs, it takes slightly longer time. So if it gets stuck, then I'll upload. Oh, this is done. This is quick. Otherwise, I would have uploaded an Excel sheet. So what we have done, and this is new functionality, is we have created this preview screen. So now as a user, you can see how the data is extracted from your blood report into the application. And therefore you can do a quick validation. We are going to bring additional functionality where if the user finds that the value or the units or ranges have not been passed quite accurately, they can actually even drop a marker We have 45 markers in our model. So if one or two markers do get dropped, it will not affect the accuracy of the report a lot. So you see all the reports have been passed here. The user has a quick look and then is going to confirm that is okay. And the report is ready. So I'll go to the dashboard first. So I click on dashboard. This is the BloodAge dashboard. Now, again, this is sample data, but you can imagine that this person has taken a few reports in the past few months, let's say every 4 or 5 months. And now we can see how the health parameters are changing over time. You can see that the BloodAge is varying. It was around 34.9, 35. It became 32, but then again it has gone up. And then the values are also of the organ health scores are changing. Now Byron, as a user, having generated the latest report, can now click on the report and have a quick view on the recommendations. So he sees the organ health scores and then he sees the recommendations that the AI is suggesting. Now we have already announced this, and this is going to happen in the next few weeks. We are upgrading our recommendation module. So we are using generative AI and large language models to bring recommendations that will focus a lot around diet, exercise, lifestyle changes, as well as mention supplements that we do now. Byron can also download the BloodAge report and store it locally. And on the summary, this is what the blood summary report looks like. We have the chronological age and the blood age. We also show the optimal age. We are comparing how this person is doing. It's a reflection of how this person is doing with respect to the rest of the population in their peer group. And this young person is not doing very well. We are looking at how their overall profile looks like, and this is where we are able to highlight certain markers that are really off and needs more focus. The organ health scores you have already seen. In our blood summary report, we break down every blood marker as aging markers or anti-aging markers. Those in red are our aging markers and those in green are the anti-aging markers. We provide a pathway to optimal age towards improving the biological age, and this is based on the aging markers. And this is where we are doing a lot of innovation and a lot of change, and this is going to be changed now and revamped in the next few weeks. We give the breakup of every blood marker, and there is a very transparent calculation of blood age, which is the sum of the chronological age and the impact years of aging and anti-aging markers. The original report is used in the summary report, so there is no need for the end user to look at two different documents. And finally, we explain how these organ health scores are calculated, which markers we combine to predict these organ health scores, and also explain what some of these recommendations mean. And we do believe that's sort of like the first step towards taking responsibility of your health, when you begin to understand what's going on and what some of these terms mean and what they can do for you. So I'll go back to sharing the SenoClock application. So now we have seen BloodAge. So let's have a look at MindAge. Now it is the platform is configurable. So if a certain employer wants to just work on mental health and work on MindAge and not work with BloodAge, that's perfectly possible, and we can switch BloodAge off. So in that way, everything is access based and role based. So with BloodAge, the first step is taking a survey. So again, we have done that in our BloodAge launch in the past. So I'll go through this very quickly. So I click on survey as an employee and I have a set of 24 questions. You can see the count here at the bottom of the screen. So I'll click through some of them very quickly. The questions are very deliberately designed to be slightly wonky. It is the scales switch. We want the user to read each of these questions, understand, and answer honestly how it applies to their lives and their personality. And that gives us a very good picture in terms of their psychological state. And what the AI does after that is it creates a profile, it creates a psychological profile, and at the same time establishes what can be a higher plane of well-being that this person can aim for, and provides a pathway via recommendations to achieve that higher plane. So we are done. Again, let's have a look at the dashboard. So here you can see that the person has taken a survey. We will have a quick look at the recommendations very soon, and then gone through those tasks, gone through those recommendations, and then has come back, say after a couple of months, and taken the survey again. So we see the well-being scores here, the average of all the well-being scores represented here. You can see the numbers are going up and down. And this is like a moment of reflection. Now the person can start thinking and analyzing that, okay, I had good scores here. Looks like I was in a good state here, and here I had low scores. So what was happening with my life in there? Or is it something which was work related? Was it something that was outside work? You are able to sort of track individual parameters as well, and you could say that, okay, I'm sort of staying strong on certain parameters, but there are other parameters that I need to have more work on. Our approach to mental health is similar to what people would do with physical health. Right? You would run and exercise and play sports, not because you are sick, but because you don't want to be sick. And the same paradigm applies to mental health as well. However, it is neglected. Hardly there would be few people who would be very conscious about doing something around their mental health. Being mindfulness, being more conscious about their personal growth or autonomy or meditating. And therefore, stress and anxiety collects. And then usually when it comes to a point where you require help, and that's when you start looking out for therapists or other apps and what's out there to help you. Our goal using this technology is to build resilience so that all of us are able to handle everyday stress and anxieties better. So we don't reach that point where we have to look for help. Let's download the BloodAge report and have a quick look. So the recommendations are there on the application. There is one feature that we are discussing, and we want to bring it into the application. We'll see how that goes. We have shown there is a lot of research already on this, and we have also seen in experiments that we have conducted in the past that journaling helps, right? Where you sort of write down what is that you are doing. So we want to bring that functionality into the platform where users can actually write down a note how they have actioned on the recommendations that are being shared. So you have the chronological age, then you have the BloodAge. Might be a question already, but let me also clarify that there is actually very less correlation. I would say there is sort of, in that sense, no correlation between BloodAge and BloodAge. That's where a lot of research has shown a person may not be doing very well physiologically, but might be in a good state mentally, and vice versa. But having said that, we have done research and we have shown in our research that if you are having a poor psychological state, then it does affect your pace of aging and it accelerates your pace of aging. So much so that being in a poor psychological state accelerates aging more than smoking does. So we published this paper, it's there on our website, it's there on our science page, end of last year, and it was picked up widely. I think we're the first ones in the industry to actually compare the psychological state and mental health with smoking, and it was very powerful. I think earlier this year I saw a quote from the US Surgeon General where he also made a comment about anxiety and stress and smoking, and how bad it is, worse than smoking. I'm sure he was quoting us. We didn't mention, as we were the first ones to talk about that. So here you have the psychological profile across the 6 well-being parameters. The AI has come up with your score and is now looking at providing your roadmap to improving your island of emotional stability. We, like we do in the BloodAge, we try to explain so it makes it relatable to the end user what some of these terms mean. For example, with self-acceptance, knowing your limits and accepting who you are. You feel positive about your personality and acknowledge your ability to be a positive influence on people around you. You constructively approach your past experience and know how to minutes. So this is what the mind age report looks like. You have the chronological age and then you have the mind age. I already gave the explanation in terms of how the mind age works. It is sort of reflective of psychological state, and it shows the stress or your ability to form stable relationships, your self-esteem, but it shouldn't be directly correlated with BloodAge, because I'm sure that's a question that might be coming up in the audience already. The well-being parameters score is calculated, and then based on that, the AI determines the pathway for the next higher plane of well-being. We explain what each parameter means. What does a high score and a low score means? So I was reading out what self-acceptance is, what's a high score for self-acceptance, what's a low score for self-acceptance. So now as a user, I have my score, and then I can relate that, okay, I have score that's sort of in the middle, or I have a low score, and it basically means that I am stressed or lacking confidence, and yes, this is true for my personality. So I have used this a lot, and I find this very relatable. And then we have the recommendations, which are quite comprehensive, prepared by psychologists, which we would then be shared with the user, and the user has to take action on them. So in our report, you can see we have the possibility of the user actually taking notes. This is PDF. You can fill in the text here, or even print it and keep it. And in the future, if someone does need help and has to go to a therapist, they can take all of these notes with them. They can say they have been interacting with the AI-based software, and this is some of the activities that they have done. So it sort of stays as a record. And we are actually thinking of now bringing this functionality into SenoClock Gold as well. So I'll go back to SenoClock now. Right. So these are the functionality that an employee is able to see. Now I'll switch to the screen where I have logged in as an HR admin. And let's see what additional features are available to an HR admin. So here I have logged in as an HR admin. Now the HR admin is an employee himself, and so we'll have the tabs that's available to an employee, which is My Health Profile and BloodAge and MindAge, and you have gone through this before. So let's look at additionally what is that the HR admin is able to do. So I said at the beginning that we are taking a shot at enabling employers to really understand the health of their entire employee population, and to see whatever they are doing to help their employees, what effect is it having on them. So we have created some simple intuitive dashboards towards that. So on your right, you see the average age of this company, NAIC Institute, which is 38.7 years, and the average biological age of the company, which is about 2 years more. So you are aging faster, which means that overall the company is not doing very well, it's not very healthy, but it's not very bad. It's just a couple of years. Then on the left, you can see the BloodAge distribution across age groups. So we are now breaking it down across age groups, so the company can actually identify that which age group in the company is actually needs more support. So in this example, we see that the biological age of the age group 18 to 30 is significantly high. The average age deviation, which is the difference of the biological and chronological age, average for all the people in this age group is shown here. And that the male population is even aging faster than the females. Whereas the age group 41 to 50 and 51 to 60 is actually doing very well. Their biological age is less than the chronological age. So now, as a leadership, as an administrator, you can see which segment of your employee population needs most attention. So now you have an opportunity to carve communication, strategize how you could nudge that particular population to do better with their health. The next graph shows the blood age and highlights the at-risk population. So here we see a pie chart where we have created 3 categories: people less than 2 years, whose biological age is basically less than 2 years more than the chronological age, or the biological age is 2 to 5 years more than the chronological age, or more than 5 years. Now, if it's more than 5 years, then you really start being concerned, and you get a percentage. So what percentage of my population has the biological age more than 5 years? And if it's a large population, then maybe some bigger measures are needed to rein this in and bring this under control. And finally, a breakup of the biological age by gender. So how are the women and men faring in terms of their health overall? So these are summary level statistics. The company or the HR will not have access to specific employee records or employee information, but at a summary level, they would be able to track how the company is doing. Having said this, again, we want to engage with the industry, want to engage and with employers and see what their reaction is. The platform is highly configurable. So if we understand that in certain segments, employers don't even want that, right? They just want this to be made available to their employees and let the employees manage their health, and they do not want to play an active role in nudging their employees. Then we can accordingly turn off the reports. Or if there is an organization, small mid-sized organization where they are very close and they want to work with their employees and really get them to improve their health, improve their biological age, improve their mental health, and they want more information and more insight, then we can look to discuss and see what additional dashboards we can create. The idea here is that we have enough, not to sort of overwhelm, but enough to give actions in the hands of the decision makers. So I know that there are certain quarters, and I know that something is working and something is not working, and therefore I can change strategies accordingly. On similar lines, now with the HR admin role, you can see what is the average well-being score across the entire organization. Now, of course, when you're starting, you have this data, but you imagine after 6 months or a year, you can actually see a trend, right? You can see how is the overall biological age of my company moving, right? Am I actually gaining? Am I, as an organization, being a fast ager and therefore staying unhealthy? Or actually I'm losing biological years and therefore I'm improving my health of the organization. So you are able to track that. You can now track, right, what's the mental health of the company, right? How does the mental health work across the year, right? Are there certain times of the year when the employees feel more stressed, more anxious, and other times of the year when they don't? And if that is happening, why is that? Is it got to do with quarterly results, or what is driving those behavior? So now you, as a CEO, as an MD, as an head of HR, you would have the opportunity to really understand what is happening within your employee base. So we are focusing this webinar on our employers, and we are going to do a lot of communication after that into the employer universe. But I just want to emphasize and re-emphasize this point that this can be easily fashioned for other companies and enterprises who want to take this to their customers, right? So we'll have to make some quick changes, but we have built the platform keeping those use cases in mind, that can be used by employers as well as organizations who want to provide this technology to their users. So you have on the left the well-being scores, and they are split across age groups and by gender. So now again you can see what's the overall mental well-being for across age groups, and how is it happening between men and women across age groups overall in the company. And again, sort of at risk, are there certain population where the average well-being is, say, less than 50% or less than 40%. And again, we can configure that. We can benchmark the organization over a period of time and change some of these thresholds. So instead of 50%, for example, if it's a very happy industry, and I read a report somewhere that the construction industry apparently is sort of the happiest, and that the threshold could be higher. So you want to know if someone is below 60% or 65%, and what percentage is that. So these are some of the dashboards that we think would really help an employer understand what is happening with their employee base. I'm nearly at the end of my presentation, few more minutes, and then we can just do Q&A, and maybe we can give you some time back if we are done. So this is where on the screen, the administrator can see the users, in this case, the employers in the company. We have an option of bulk import. It's a simple Excel file where all the employee information is loaded and can be entered into the platform at a single shot. But the employer can also do it one by one. Once you have done that, then and when they're uploading the entire list of employers, an email can be triggered which sends the link. This can also be sent afterwards. So you have this feature here where the invite can be sent again if you've seen that the person is not logged in yet. Now, this particular activity is really important because we do want to have the right emails, because else the invitation will not be delivered. But it's also important because we are going to record the date of birth. And this is one difference from our SenoClock platform, that in the SenoClock platform, we would extract the date of birth and then the reports are based on that. Here, we will not consider the date of birth that is coming in from the reports, because we would believe that the HR and the organization will have the golden record, and we will take the date of birth that is uploaded in the system as the base for all the employees. If there is a mistake, you could delete the record and re-upload it. You can do that so long as the employee has not logged in. Once the employee is logged in, we are unable to, as you can see, these employees have logged in, so you cannot delete these records, but you can deactivate a user. When you deactivate a user, what happens is the user can still log in, user can still see their records, but they won't be able to create fresh reports. This is the way we have interpreted, and this is how we think it would be relevant to handle personal information and health information. But again, we'll work with the experts in the industry and we'll work with the employers, and if employers have different requirements, then we can configure that. Lastly, this is an email template, so you can see the HR admins can send emails from here. Whatever changes I make here, all of this text is reflected here. Simple text-based email, and you can send this, save it, and this email will go to all the employees. We are going to make more updates to the platform. We are going to introduce more email templates. But our goal with doing that was all the functionality relevant for SenoClock Gold should happen from the platform. So it is, in that sense, self-contained, and then there won't be need for other external integrations at this stage. So I think I have covered most of the points that I wanted to share in today's webinar.